Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to another day, another dollar episode. We're going to be interviewing Cory Cowley today. It's going to be an epic interview. I am so happy to be talking with her. Just as soon as she pops on, we shall be going live with that. And I will, first off, I hope all of you are having a great morning, evening, dawn, day or dusk, all that lovely stuff, because life really is too short as is. All right, we got Cory already hopping on. All right, it is adding. We just need it to add, and we are ready to rock. Hello!
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. I literally was like, I clocked out and I hauled ass.
Yeah, I've been on the run as well. It's like, oh shit, I gotta get going.
Can you hear me okay?
I sure can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfect.
Awesome, cool. So how was your day? Let's ask an easy question. Oops.
Sorry. My day was
Down we
good.
go.
That's my husband right there. So if he walks back and
Yep.
forth, don't mind him. So it was good. Outside of what I do for a living, I actually work at Publix. So it's like
Okay.
it's like a grocery store food place, and it's so random, but that's my job. So yeah.
Hey, it pays the bills. That's all that really matters.
Exactly. And how was your day?
It was great, busy as can be, but I got a review in, got to watch a movie, and then got to run some errands and have a doctor appointment, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
So it's been a busy day for me as well.
Awesome.
Um, so what shall we start with? Let's talk about wounds. Let's see. What can you tell us about it?
So wounds is basically okay. Well, to start from the beginning. So the director, David Williams, I worked with him earlier this year in July on a film called Null, which I think you commented on the post that he had posted. So I flew to Buffalo. We shot that in Leroy at the old Jello factory. And so I met David through Facebook. And so we had done Null. And then all of a sudden, David just shot me a message and he's like, hey, I'm thinking David is so interesting in the way that he'll send you like a paragraph of words. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, so we just sort of started, concocting the story together, and we came up with a tentative title. And so it became All Wounds Scream at Once. And so this movie is going to be pretty fucking hardcore.
Nice.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be more improv, so much more so than actually like a script. That's kind of how David prefers to work, and I actually like it because a lot of my roots are in theater. So um, it gives me an opportunity to sort of kind of go back to when I was in my teenage years and just kind of like act on the fly. So yeah, we are beyond excited about this. So
Yeah, I am as well. It is definitely one of those films that when I first saw the first picture of you with the butcher knife in the mouth, I was like, "Holy shit, I have to see this." And then our good mutual friend Yujit Dark, he kind of linked us up in there
yeah.
and somehow and I've been hooked since. So
You're so sweet. I honestly like, oh, and by the way, first of all, thank you for having me on here, by the way. I have not met you. I haven't met you, in person, but I love you to death. You are so sweet. You are so enthusiastic about film. Thank you for having me on here. You are a doll.
oh, you are more than welcome, and thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule as well, because it is definitely you're a hot commodity right now, that's for sure. Because I was I was kind of thumbing through IMDb, you know, and they're usually not always caught up with everything. But I saw that you're going to be doing some work with our good friend White Gardenia coming up in the future.
I am. Daniel is a sweetheart.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel is he's such a sweetheart. I love Daniel so much, and that project for me was definitely outside my wheelhouse in the way that, obviously it's based off the King James
Mm-hmm.
Bible, and I did a few segments in that. I'm not sure if he wants me to say that or not, but I did a few segments. But the challenge is to do segments where I was not so identifiable in each segment. So that was a big challenge for me, but it was a lot of fun just because, Daniel is very he's very knowledgeable in Christianity, and that that is amazing. I really was impressed with his historical, knowledge on just the whole faith itself. It was really cool. Really, really cool.
Oh yes, Daniel definitely is he's a sweetheart. I every time him and I talk, I am just in awe. It's like you're the same guy that's doing that. Then no, but he is, yeah, he is such a nice gentleman, and I always love talking to him. And the fact that you're a part of that makes it even cooler because I'm not super knowledgeable on the King James edition, but I do know I've thumbed through it, and for him to put as much uh, effort and love and passion into it, and this is going to be just a really huge release, and I am really looking forward to it as well.
Yeah, I 100% concur with you. I was really honored when he reached out to me, and he mostly, but then I kind of, once we started to talk about the project more, Daniel and I kind of decided on what segments suited me best, and horror Babylon. I've just said I'm the horror Babylon probably. Um, and I just really, 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 really loved that segment. And I really loved, oh God, what else did I do? I did the Book of Lamentations, and they
Oh,
just, yeah, and they came out so beautifully. And I was really proud of those two skits in particular because, first of all, I didn't think that I could pull that off. Secondly, they were beautiful. They were really beautiful. And that made me so proud. It really did.
oh, and it's definitely something to be proud of, that's for sure, because it's going to be, I think, probably one of the biggest movies of the year as far as the indie underground goes. Because everybody I know is just pumped beyond belief for that, and me included. And another one I'm also excited for to when it releases is it's Triptych Phobia. Is that how it's pronounced?
Oh my God, this movie. Yeah, Trypophobic Possession, which is,
Tryptophobic.
I'm sure you're familiar with them, but that was directed by Mikel Belardi.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. First of all, I love Mikel. Mikel is my son's uncle, which I don't have kids, but I have guinea pigs. So,
Oh yeah.
um, my one guinea pig, Gary, that's Mikel's nephew. So he's pretty much like my family, and Mikel and I kind of came up with this really fucked up movie. It's fucked up. That's all I can say. I can't really. Yes, there's lots of holes. There's lots of trypophobia. Um, but I mean, one thing that I can say is that it was done with mostly my blood, because I always use my own blood and everything I do. I don't use stage blood. I mean, sometimes I do, but for the most part, I try and stay authentic to that. That's kind of like my signature.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that Anthony Koya from Tetra Video, he has watched the film and he said it was fucking crazy. So this is supposed to be due out, I think, next year in February. So I'm looking forward to you. Yes, I want you to review that and tell me what you think.
Oh, I definitely want to review that. I want to review that, and then of course King James, and then All Wounds. There's just so much that I just am so excited to see when it comes out. Like next year is going to be fun. It's going to be a great year. I have a feeling it's not
Yeah.
just those included, but there's a lot of other directors that are also got some great stuff coming as well.
Oh,
So.
100%. Mikhail especially, he's got Golgata just, I think, premiered in a Spanish, I think it was a Spanish theater in Spain. And then he's also got Crisalida, which is going to be premiering next year, which I'm really excited for that one. That's,
Me
yeah, I
too.
know.
Me too.
Yeah, so it's going to be premiering, I think, at Bogota Film Festival. So, which, yeah, so I actually ended up being a judge. So I have to watch those 4 movies. I have to get those done.
I've recently been a judge at a film festival myself, and I envy you, but I also feel sorry because it's so hard. It is like the hardest thing. It's like trying to choose which one of your children you like the most. It's a pain. It's really hard.
I know.
So that's awesome.
I just feel really guilty though because as and like being part of the indie community and stuff like that, it's really hard to get your stuff out there because it is a saturated market. It what started off
Mm.
as something that was a little more sparse. I'd like to think that we are such a tight knit community because we all support each other, which is amazing. But it's a little bit harder to get our stuff out there, so that I feel kind of guilty. Well, what if this person gets upset, and then it's a whole thing. So
Oh yeah, I definitely feel you there on that one because I've been in that situation with films I've reviewed, and I'll come across one every once in a while that I'm just not feeling, and it's like I don't want to say anything bad about it, so I keep things as professional as possible.
exactly.
I don't go full Ebert because I don't like to badmouth directors or filmmakers or actors or performers or anybody because you guys, if it wasn't for you guys, what would we watch? We would watch paint dry.
It could be entertaining though. It depends on how much blood is involved, but yeah.
That is true. That is
Yeah.
very true. So, what else do you got planned for your future for us? Anything else you care sharing?
Um, well, I mean, obviously, besides, the underground films that I've been working with and some of the directors that you and I probably know, there are some more mainstream films that I did Forest Hills, which was the movie that had the return of Shelley Duvall.
Oh,
Um, I had a small part, but the next film that I'm going to be filming, it's actually supposed to be next month. I'm supposed to be flying down to Atlanta and filming Virginia Bitches, which my friend Scott Hansen, who's the director, I worked with him. I did the Veil of Nath music video with Scott. And I'm really excited about that because it's about an on it's really campy and fun and it's not so dark toned, like kind of like more of what I'm used to. So that's the next thing, and then once Virginia Bitches finishes, um, we're going to be moving on to Wounds, which Wounds has pretty much preoccupied my entire
oh
time.
yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah, because it is just everywhere right now. Like that's how much
Ah,
people are excited for it.
really?
Like oh, definitely. I see it. I see it. It just randomly in places or from people, and they're like, "Oh, I can't wait to see this," and it's like,
Oh
yeah,
my
it's going to be epic.
God. I'm starting to turn red. Ah.
it's all good. It's all good. You
God.
know, it's definitely something to be proud of because you definitely you know exactly what you did and how far you pushed yourself and how far the boundaries went. So people are going to definitely they're going to I think they're going to love it and it's going to be an
Yay!
epic movie, epic film.
Well,
Yes.
this was one of the, I think this is, well, I mean, David put me in a position where he wanted me to produce this film. And, I've never produced a film before. So this is definitely a different avenue for me because most of the
Mm.
time I'm either doing special effects or I'm doing the acting part of it. But producing, you don't realize how much hard work goes into producing. And it's been, yeah, it's pretty much like the backbone. And so having to assemble the soundtrack especially and get all these bands together and then compile all these wave files and make sure everything's done on time. I mean, it's so fulfilling, but it's so stressful at the same time. And I realized today when I was at work, I said to myself, I was like, well, there's a lot of pressure, on a producer. I didn't realize that until now. So,
Oh, most definitely. It's more than just trying to find talent or money for the film. There's just
yeah,
so much more to it. It is definitely next to the actual performance and directing. I think though that's like probably the third like hardest job about it. And then editing, of course, is another one.
yeah.
Like I don't envy editors, but I love them because they do great. A lot of them do great jobs with very little sometimes.
Yeah, I don't envy editors either. When it comes to the editing aspect of, anything, I think that's the part that I dread the most because it's all timing and pace and color grading and then, scoring on top of that. And I got lucky with the King James Bible because the score in that, I did the score in that, but I got really lucky on that, to be honest with you. I'm not even gonna lie and tell you that I knew what I was doing. I did not know what I was doing.
That's awesome though. You went out of your comfort zone and did something that you normally wouldn't do and and you're proud of it. And that's what matters most. Whether it affects one person or 100 people, you still made that mark on somebody and that's awesome, and
Oh,
and
thank
that's one
you.
of those things that I don't think a lot of film watchers or movie watchers, whatever you want to call them, I feel like a lot of them don't realize that,
Yeah,
and it's like those you guys go through hell, especially on indie films. You guys go through hell, long hours, using your own blood, doing all the effects, doing pouring your heart and soul into something like that, and yeah, it just really can it's a hard job.
it
It's
is.
definitely
It's a hard job, but I think it's the Cypress Hill song, Rockstar, where he's like, it's a fun job, but it's still a job. And I'd be lying if I said I it's stressful. I can't lie, it's stressful. And then on top of film, you've got, well, for me anyways, I work retail. I do consultancy, that's my daytime job. And then so to do that on top of what I'm doing and to make the time for it, I don't have time anymore. You know, I started out, I don't know if you knew this, but I started out doing just art on Instagram. Um,
cool.
I was doing, just not cosplays per se, but just kind of my own special effects and stuff like that. And so I started out doing that, and then, but by luck, I started getting into film, which was the goal. But now I just have, my life is work and work. And so,
Mm,
I don't know how I do it. And I am not complaining. I'm very blessed in that way. But there are some days when I come home from work and I'm like, how the hell do I do this? So,
mm. Right, right. Oh, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Especially, going from the daytime gig to doing what you love most, doing the film stuff.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a
Yeah.
lot on one person's plate. And that's I respect that a lot, because a lot of people, they either kind of flounder at one, and then they devote only to the day job, and it's like,
Yeah.
you gotta find a happy medium in there.
Yeah. And I think that's the most challenging part of all of it, is really just finding a middle ground, and, finding time for you. And, yeah, I do have time for me, because I'll have my coffee in the morning and things like that. But
Mm.
I've kind of fallen into this trap now where I feel as if I do take time for myself, and, I do have downtime, I end up feeling guilty that I'm not doing enough. And you shouldn't look at it that way, but I'm
You're right.
yeah, I'm constantly in my head, always like, I need to come up with more ideas, and yeah.
I definitely, I feel you there, because I not as an actor, but as a reviewer, I'm constantly like, okay, so I need to get a hold of this person. I want to see if they need a review. Okay, this person got a hold of me, so I got to squeeze this review in.
Oh
and
God.
and I definitely understand that it can be quite the balancing game at times.
Well, you're doing Vivian. I think Vivian is coming on the 21st, right?
Hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't know how you, especially because you've got so many people coming onto your show that you're interviewing, and you've got the reviews too. So I'm thinking to myself, how the hell is he doing all this? Because I would just see the emails and my brain would become scrambled, and I couldn't focus. So
Lots of caffeine and very little sleep.
oh
That's how I do
no.
it.
No.
I know it's terrible, but somebody's got to do it.
Understandable. I totally get that. It's definitely the creative brain, or so I say. I don't
Mhm.
know.
It's definitely the creative side of it. That's for sure. And I'm gonna
100%.
I'm gonna ask you one last question.
Sure
Who
thing.
are your biggest influences for as far as your work?
I'm really glad you asked me this question, because nobody's really asked me that question so directly. Um, and I thought about this too on my way home from work, so it's perfect. So I grew up a lot because my mom and I used to grow up watching horror movies all the time, and it just kind of came like my favorite thing in the world. It's because of my mom that I'm into horror. Um, my mom's awesome, so yeah. But aside from that, I definitely say that my number one influence is Takashi Miike, because I use a lot of J horror in a lot of the work that I do. I just fell in love with it, and after seeing like Itchy the Killer and seeing Audition, I kind of liked the more subtle aspects of J horror, because it's not an excessive amount of gore, but it still gets the job done, and you remember it. And I remembered it as a kid. Um, and then outside of that, I would definitely say Clive Barker, um, just because I've read so many of his books outside of his films. And when I grew up, I loved Hellraiser. Hellraiser and Alien are like tied for my favorite films ever. Um, and Clive Barker to me is just, I get really emotional talking about Clive Barker for a multitude of reasons. But yeah, I would definitely say it would be Clive Barker and Takashi Miike. They're both just incredible. I love them both very, very much.
Oh, they are amazing. Definitely two writer, director, filmmakers, producers that I just got a feline jumping in here that I that we like to call that one the trash goblin, because it likes to eat everything in its path. It's like, no, stop it, Daisy. You can't eat that.
Oh, Daisy baby. Yeah, my pigs would be my pigs are kind of off there. I'm surprised Gary hasn't started acting up. My one guinea pig, he's insane.
Now, one last thing. I'm going to give you the platform to say whatever you would like, and go ahead and let you go ahead and say what anything that you would like to say, and we'll end it with that.
Well, first of all, thank you again. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't thank you enough, Matthew. You, and I'll say it again. You are the sweetest, the most enthusiastic, the most supportive person. You really are. You're amazing. I'm glad that Yijit connected us because uh, I can't say enough about you. You're incredible. And secondly, yeah, I outside of my hard exterior, I'm a pretty down to earth person. So you guys can check me out on Instagram, Facebook. If you'd like to support All Wounds Scream at Once, the Indiegogo has, I think, 33 more days left. If anyone wants some weird perks, you can go on my website, which is officialcorydandcowley.com, or I mean, if you see me in the street, just say hi. So yeah, and
Awesome.
always support indie and local because we are. Oh wow, is that new? What just happened? Oh my
It's
god!
doing it for you, but not for me. My hands are too crippled, I guess. That's cool, though. That's awesome. I like that.
Wow,
But
that was
yeah,
so spur of the moment.
I know that was, and it fit perfectly. All right, Cory, it's been such a pleasure. I can't thank you enough for taking your time, and we'll obviously stay in touch. Of course, we will talk,
Yes, we will.
and I will definitely be also spreading more word about All Wounds, and anything else that you would like me to promote. Just shoot me a message on there, and then I'll send up some links and some stuff like that for that.
Oh my God, I love you. Thank you so much again. If you are not following Matthew, you need to follow Matthew. Seriously, you are incredible. And my friend, when are you going to start working for Dread Central over here or Remorgue or something? Come on. I need you, man. I need you to go
I
far with this.
I want to. Trust me, I want to. I hopefully someday, fingers crossed, that maybe one of them will come a knocking.
He'll come and knock
They'll come a knocking.
it.
All right, Cory. Thank you so much, and you have a great rest of your night, and enjoy your time with your husband and the pigs, and we'll be talking.
Yes, we will. Bye, Daisy. Bye,
All right.
Matthew.
Bye.
Bye.